best of 9.88, but he's been working on his mechanics just as Carl has been.
And he says recent performances below his normal standard should not be used to judge his Olympic chances. A more indicative measure could come tonight.
I've focused on this meet as one where I'd like to perform all year, and I might not have done that. I'm not sure if I did that with all the other meets, but this is one where I've shot for to try to indicate to myself if I'm prepared enough to compete well at the trials.
And I like Leroy Burrell. He's run 9.96 wind-aided this year. He says that's a bad performance, a non-focused performance, sort of like Michael Jordan saying 34 points is a bad evening.
And Mark Witherspoon will be next to Leroy Burrell.
Great win for him in the 200 meters at the Bruce Jenner Classic. He looks better and better each week.
And a look at the rest of the field.
Start needs to relax throughout the race. A very fast start for Calvin Smith.
Calvin Smith out in a hurry. Can they catch him? Yes, they can. Leroy Burrell, Mark Witherspoon, Calvin Smith. But as you said, Smith burst out of the blocks.
Had to comment on that one, and Calvin Smith must be thanking his lucky stars that was not called back. I guess when you're 31 years old, they give you one every so often. And great composure for Burrell and Witherspoon to stay in that race. Natural inclination is just to let him go ahead. Middle of the screen, the white top. Watch Calvin Smith. He's gone before the others even starting. And look at the lead he has on Leroy Burrell, one of the best starters in the world. Calvin Smith, former world record holder at this distance, maintains the lead for a while. But watch Leroy Burrell charge by, Mark Witherspoon right with him, and Burrell holds on for the victory. Smith in third.
So Burrell makes up the staggered starts on Calvin Smith.
He spotted him a little handicap there, let him get ahead, and maintained his composure. Good race for Leroy Burrell under these sorts of conditions. It's a real challenge for a sprinter to maintain one's composure in those circumstances.
Leroy, it looks like Calvin Smith got an awfully quick start there.
Yeah, I think it was a little too quick, but you know, Calvin's come along good this year, and he's running a fast time. So when he got out, I was a little concerned, but I started moving on him from shortly after the start, and I was pretty happy that I got by him right at the end, and that gives me a lot of confidence knowing that I can do that to a sprinter the caliber of Calvin.
We've seen you in a couple 200 meters this year. You haven't done very well. What are the events we're going to see you in New Orleans?
Well, you know, I had a slight problem early this season with preparing myself for races, and I went home and I had to figure out what I was doing wrong, and I think I'm there now, and I think I can transfer that to the 100 and 200, so I'm going to run the 200 in New Orleans.
Well, can I ask what the problem was?
Well, I was just having a little bit of time focusing, and I think I was just worrying about it too much and trying to visualize myself doing it when I need to just go out and do it. And, you know, you just run fast, and I was concerned about looking good. And it doesn't matter when you're running fast, and I'm just going to run fast.
He's just going to run fast. At one time, he had the fastest time in the world, and now belongs to Carl Lewis. Mark Witherspoon was second, and Calvin Smith third.